What's up, guys? We are live from the Roar Zone in Murrieta. I'm here. If he looks familiar, he's been on the show before, and we're actually starting to work together quite a bit. Founder, right?
Yes.
Co-founder or founder? Founder of SHOUTTAG. And I'm not even going to try to explain it because I will jack it all up. That's why we have my man here, and we've been working together. He's been working on some awesome stuff for us, some behind the scenes. The two things I love about working with Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, your work ethic, dude, is just, we just connect.
Yep.
And that's hard for me because I'm so always on.
Yep.
And number two is you were able to dumb it down, right? You're able to make it make sense to me, the layman's terms.
Right.
And that's not always easy. You're able to give it to me in layman's terms. Then I can make a decision and we can just move on.
That's right.
So it's been a pleasure, dude.
Awesome,
this is the
man.
first time we've actually really, been into something and worked together. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped, and I see a great long-term relationship here. So I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me on
you,
the
man.
show.
Introduce yourself again and let everyone know what's going on.
Sure. My name is Mike Purcell. I am the founder of an app that I wrote. It's called SHOUTTAG. Basically, it's whenever you see an exclamation mark like this, followed by words, that means that somebody has a message they want to share with you. Okay. So if you want to read that message, you just download our app or go to shouttag.com, and the app's available on Google Play and iTunes. Okay. And you enter in Shark Tank, you'll see a message that I prepared for you. So it's basically, like with a hashtag, if we were to take a picture and hashtag and put it up on Twitter and put hashtag business or hashtag roar, that means somebody on the East Coast, if they're clicking on the business hashtag, they might see our picture. So that's how people are able to hijack like trending tweets. Okay. So if you go to Twitter, you see on the left-hand side it says trending hashtags. That means there's hashtags that a lot of people are using in their posts. Okay. So when you see with the Super Bowl, they'll have the hashtag Super Bowl, and you look at it and they have all these pictures from people random across the world. Yeah. So the hashtag allows grouping of posts on social media. Okay. So it's not as effective on Facebook. But when you see an exclamation mark, there's only one app that will respond to the exclamation mark. That's the SHOUTTAG app. So what we did is we said, okay, because with the hashtag, you can use it, which social media channel am I using it on? One of the best examples is a couple years ago, Budweiser used the hashtag Best Buds with that commercial with the horse and the puppy. I don't know if you remember that, but the puppy got lost, came back. Yep. It was super emotional, right? Everybody was like, oh my God, it's an awesome commercial. But at the end of it, they used hashtag Best Buds. But think about that for a second. If we're at a Super Bowl party and we're eating chips and we're drinking beer and we're having fun,
who are you with?
What's the expectation? Am I supposed to pull out my phone and go, hey, that was a cool ad, hashtag Best Buds, post that up as a tweet? There's no benefit in it for us as consumers. It's all on the Budweiser side, right? Budweiser could say, oh, we had 200,000 tweets that had the hashtag Best Buds in it. But if it was an exclamation mark followed by Best Buds, exclamation mark Best Buds, I would know this is SHOUTTAG. I could go to the SHOUTTAG app, enter in Best Buds, and I'd see the message that they prepared. So that message may include like extended scenes from the shoot, or better yet, it could be a coupon for say 40% off a case of beer.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden, you and I are like, oh man, there's a 2-hour time limit on this coupon. You and I, during halftime, are going on a beer run, coming back, and they just created conversions from social media. You just created value for the customer. Exactly right. For the consumer. Right, because if you think about it, social media is more effective for people who have some sort of influence outside of social media. So if you think about like actors, like celebrities, sports stars, politicians, they have their own influence outside. So what they did is they created a social media account. All these people found out, they go, oh, this guy's on social media, I'm going to follow. Yeah. So they had an influence outside. So for a lot of small businesses, it's hard for them to come in and establish their own foothold on social media because they don't have any outside influence other than their local immediate community. Yeah. So what we do is we come in and we say, hey, we'll help you with your social media. That's another service that we provide. But we'll come in and we try to help them build their influence as if they were a celebrity or as if they were a sports star organically. And so that way they end up with followers that are organic. That way when they do make a post about something, there's more likely to be a conversion based on that. Yeah, because they're going to connect. They're a real audience. Yeah, a true audience. Because a lot of times what was really popular, and I think it still is, I guess, are those services where you could buy followers. Oh man. So what they do is they go, and it sounds good, right? You're like, I'm a small business, and if I have followers or I have fans, that means that I don't have to pay for ads anymore. Those will go in front of, if I have 10,000 followers, it'll go through in front of all 10,000 followers, but that's not true. there's these algorithms that are in place. And because there's so many people posting so many different things, these algorithms determine what you're going to see, right? So it's not a pure direct connection between you and your fan base.
It's not what it appears to be.
Right. So you might get, so Dan Bilzerian. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's the Instagram king.
Okay.
Okay, so he was a poker player. And he's like a huge, he posts these cool from exotic locations around the world and stuff. Really cool guy to follow on Instagram at Dan Bilzerian. So you follow him, and he has I think it's 5 million followers, right? And so he has 5 million, but you look at his posts, he only has 250,000 likes per, which is still considerable, but that's a small percentage.
But not compared to...
Right. So if it was a direct one-to-one correlation saying that all 5 million... Now, you have to account for people that don't log into Instagram, right? They had Instagram and they haven't logged in for 6 months. Okay,
so
let's take 20% off the table on that.
I think that's even being generous.
I think so, too. I think it's being very generous. Right. So, but even then, he should be pushing at least 1 million plus likes per. So that means that the Instagram or these algorithms that they're using, and the same applies to Facebook and the same applies to Twitter, is that they're determining for you what you think you're going to respond to. And that's what sucks about small businesses, is because they're like, well, I got 7,000 fans on my page, right? Not all 7,000 people are going to see your posts.
So where does that come in now?
So with the SHOUTTAG, what happens is the SHOUTTAG has also under the hood, it's a platform, but we have an add-on called the tracking system. So what it does is it allows customers or fans to track your SHOUTTAG. So MMTV, people could track it, and what they're doing is basically opting in to receive text and email notifications. So what happens for you is, instead of having to waste a bunch of time trying to put together the perfect email or making a post that a small percentage of your followers are going to see, is you log into your SHOUTTAG account, you click on the SHOUTTAG, and there's a button there, and it's a text and an email button. And you click it, you enter in a message saying, hey, Monster Motivator TV is going to be on today at 6:30 or tomorrow, whatever. You hit send. The SHOUTTAG platform will send that message directly to all 1,000 of your followers via email and text.
Wow.
Just like that. So there's no algorithms. There's no if you have 1,000 trackers that are tracking you by text, 1,000 people are going to get your text. Wow. So, and the cool thing about it is that the people have to opt in to get it. Right, so
they want to be there.
They want to be there,
right?
And so, because with a lot of business owners, it's not just about customer acquisition. It's also about customer re-engagement. So, yes. For a restaurant owner who has a cool restaurant, I've done it all the time. Like, I go into a restaurant, I'm like, oh man, this place is awesome, but then I forget about it for 6 months, right? Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, with direct mailers and stuff, a lot of the snail mail ends up going straight to the trash, and then your email becomes so overladen with spam and stuff. It's hard to, but with the tracker system, if it's a text or a targeted email, it goes straight into their inbox or straight to their phone. So what happens is that favorite restaurant that I like sends me a text on a Wednesday about a special they're having on Friday. They just changed my whole weekend plans.
Right.
So instead of going, hey, what do you want to do on Friday? I don't know. It's whatever. You guys are back and forth. And you end up somewhere where you didn't want to be, right? Because, whatever. And then you get that text. You're like, oh, dang, they have a 15% sale on whatever, my favorite dish at my favorite restaurant. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Because it's about re-engaging your customers.
And you're allowing them to stay in front. And I love the idea that it's a warm audience. See, that's everything.
I think so, yeah.
I do, because I think what you're saying, and you're right, is when you look at some of these Instagram gurus, right? It's like the old Hollywood sets, right? You got all these houses. As soon as you open the door, there's nothing behind it, right? It's just a set, right?
Right.
Because it's just really, it doesn't mean anything. If you have 1 million followers, but you're getting 30,000 likes.
Right. It's kind of like the same, when they have, like, in the gym, you work out at 24 Hour Fitness, I do too. In the gym, they have the TVs. Mm-hmm. And you'll hear from time to time, they'll say, hey, advertise on our network, you'll increase sales. Based on what analytics are you saying that you're going to increase sales? There's the thought that maybe somebody will see it. So it's the same thing with Instagram. Maybe somebody will see this. Maybe they'll click into it. But unless you're doing like pixel tracking or any of that kind of stuff, you're not going to get any real direct analytics based on how many people saw it and then how many people actually converted out of it.
Right.
What it is this it's this impression that because I have a lot of followers, that means you're going to get a lot of reach, which isn't necessarily true.
It's like the old with the billboards.
Right.
They used to sell them as there's 250,000 cars going through from 5 to 7.
Right.
Okay. And then what?
Right. To that point, though, that's called impression advertising.
Okay.
So what that does is that kind of just builds your brand over time.
Right.
So if you go and you buy, I'm gonna pose something to you.
Yeah.
I want you to think of the first brand that comes to mind when I say it. If you go into a sporting goods store and you're looking for a pair of shoes, what's the first pair you're going to buy? What brand are you looking for?
Nike.
Because they spend literally tens of millions of dollars on the advertising. So when you go into the shoe store, because a lot of times, how often do you buy shoes? Like once or twice a year, right? But when you go, you're like, okay, I'm looking at Nike first. You're giving them because of all the impression advertising
your attention
over time. So if the billboards as you're driving by aren't going to cause you aren't going to cause an immediate reaction. What they're going to do is just build over time. On the way to San Diego, where my satellite office is, I go down there every day and I pass one. They have one called Easy Turf. And I pass it. So if I were ever thinking about artificial turf, or somebody came to me and said, hey, you don't think about getting artificial turf? I'd be like, oh yeah, you should try Easy Turf. I have no basis on which to recommend that other than the fact that I saw this billboard for 30 days.
It's something.
It's impression advertising.
It's familiar.
So that does have an impact over time.
Right.
But if you want like truly engaging, so like with Easy Turf, for example, the problem with the billboards is you're going so fast, right? So like they have QR codes, the one where you have to scan. The problem with why that never really took off per se is because it was a high hurdle for users. They had to download the app to their phone. They had to hold the device long enough to scan it, and then it gets redirected to a website for that QR code. The problem is like when you're driving down the freeway, you're not gonna, you can't scan it.
Yeah.
But if it was Easy Turf with an exclamation mark in front of it, and I'm like, oh, that's a SHOUTTAG. So I might not look at it right then. I might wait till I get to work 10 minutes later.
But you know where to get it.
Right. I go, oh, they had a SHOUTTAG. I'm at my, I just got into my office. I'm sitting at my desk. I go, I'm kind of interested. Let me pull it up and see what's going on. The other alternative that they have is a website. So if they had easyturf.com/SD sale or something like that specific to that market, nobody's going to type anything after the slash because nobody's going to remember. You're just inundated with all this kind of stuff. There might be 7 other billboards that I see and now I'm distracted, right?
So this really could really benefit, and I'm going to pull a niche that is so inundated, especially right now, realtors.
Yep.
Right? How do they separate themselves?
Right.
Right?
That's right.
Besides the little, I still see them. I can't believe it. The magnet signs on the back of their car.
Well, they have those. But
know,
there's the impression again. So it'll be like, I saw that guy, but the call to action is extremely limited because a lot of times it's a long URL or something of that nature. If it was a SHOUTTAG, when you start typing in your SHOUTTAG, it auto-populates. So it could be super long. You only have to type in a couple characters, and it'll come down on the list. You click it, and you see it.
Okay.
Right? But we found with realtors that Antonio Mendoza is one of them that we're working with, and we created 2 SHOUTTAGs for him. It took me literally 15 minutes. I brought in some of his images from his MLS feed, and then what we're going to do now is hang the writer on a sign. So it's going to say, I think one of them is 182 Olive Street. That's it. So it has exclamation mark 182 Olive Street. So if I'm driving down the road and I see that, and I go, oh, I wonder how much he's asking for his house or whatever, I could pull it up on SHOUTTAG and see it. But the cool thing, the other alternative that they're using now is those text 2, where it's like text 555 to 1234.
Yeah.
The problem with those that a lot of people don't understand is when I do that, my phone number just got tracked.
Did it?
Yeah, because the system that I sent that to now has my phone number.
Oh, because you know what they're doing now for the pay-per-view, like for the UFC,
right?
Instead of doing it from your TV,
right?
Now they have you texting,
right? Now they have your phone number. So anytime you do a text 2, these people have your phone number, and sometimes like now I get random text spam from time to time, and I hate that. Like it's kind of invasive. It's like having ants in your house.
It's worse than emails.
I agree because it's right there on your phone. Because with the email, you're used to it.
100%.
With the text, it's like you're invading my privacy, bro.
Yeah,
you need to step back.
Yes.
So with the SHOUTTAG, you could literally get the same behavior, except you get it immediately. A lot of times with the text too, you wait 5 minutes and they send you a link, and then you click on the link and you get redirected. With the SHOUTTAG, it's immediate. You don't have to give up any information.
But the SHOUTTAG is still a text.
Well, no. So the SHOUTTAG platform can send texts, but I'm talking about like if in the real world you see the exclamation mark followed by this.
Oh, I got you.
So if I have a writer underneath a sign instead of a brochure box, and I pull it up, I can get the information. And what I do is I tell the realtors, I go, listen, it's not about the leads, man. I go, you want to move a listing, right? So you want to go from 30-day on the market to 15-day on the market. So let's think about that for a second. If I put up that sign, letting people know they can get more information, 10 people walk in front of that sign. If it's a text 2 and they know they're going to be giving out their private information, maybe 2 out of 10 will actually do it. So that means you're going to have to get 100 people to try to get somebody to get into that listing, right? But if I tell you that you can get that information without giving up any of your information, it's immediate, it's right there on your phone, it's really easy, you might get 8 out of 10.
Right.
So I don't need 100 people. I only need 10 people because I have 80% of those people looking it up. Right. And so the realtors, like some of the realtors I've talked to in the past, they were like, well, I want to trap the lead. I want to trap the lead. I'm like, why? Let them call you. There's no, because if I look it up, and what they do is they take your phone number and they sell it to the agent. And the agent goes, hey, somebody just looked up your listing, whatever. And I look it up and I go, oh, okay, cool. I'll call you. Hey, Dave, what's up? This is Mike, with Shouty Realty. What's going on, man? You're like, who the hell are you?
Right.
Like, I was just looking at
how'd you get my info?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is with that is that the agent got charged $25 to get that information.
Right. And
so
it's such a cold lead.
It's such a cold lead. So with the shout tag, you get that information, but what it does is it warms them up. Yeah. So if they look at the square footage, you look at the acreage, you look at the price range, you're like, you know what? That's not bad. They look at your hero shot. This guy looks like he's cool, whatever. Let me give him a call, right? So you're able to reach 80%, 8 out of 10 people versus 2 out of 10 people. You have that 60% in there somewhere, somebody, and your listing is going to go from 30-day to 15-day because you're being honest with the people.
And it weeds out the ones that are just looking.
Right.
Right? And that's the other thing. So it saves the realtor time.
And money.
Which is money.
Right.
It maps to money.
That's right.
Time is money. Absolutely. I love that, man. And so how long Shout Tag been around now?
She does need a sticker. I'm checking out some of the comments. Cindy does need. I gotta get some more stickers. So SHOUTTAG's been. We've been in production for 3 years.
Okay.
But it was a slow burn because when we went out there, I don't sell vaporware. I don't like that kind of stuff because my rep is on the line, and I got a lot of peers that are wanting me to fail, which, as I'm sure you know that in your industry too. So I went out there and I made sure that I brought the feature set. When I got to MVP, which is minimally viable product, when I got to that point, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and escalate the marketing a little bit. And then we started adding feature after feature after feature, and now we're feature rich. Now I'm like, remove any barriers.
Let's go.
Right? Just like you say, you got to move. It wasn't a fear barrier for me. It was more about
what was a plan?
I want to bring the most value to my customers.
Right.
And so when we hit that
literally
point,
it was a business plan.
Yeah.
Right. So this when we get to that next step, right now we're going to take all the chains off and we're going to roll with it. But it didn't make enough sense to you, right, until you got to that point. That's just to me it's just a business plan. If we have any questions or any comments, shoot them out there because this is Mike's world. This is his oxygen.
Yeah, I can help you with social media.
So share with some of the things that you offer because you're by trade, you're a coder.
Yeah, software guy. Yeah,
you're a software guy. You're a coder. That's what you're doing for me.
Right.
Getting my shopping cart all together and all that. But what do you offer? What do you do? And how can people?
So I think you know better than anybody that the market's going to kind of dictate what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like Mike Tyson when he says that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? So you have this plan of this business idea that you have. You're going to market with it. You're going to get punched in the face by the market. Am I right? And your plan's going to change, right?
Right.
So what happened with us is we came to market and we go, hey, we got this great platform, and people, because there wasn't like the social media aspect where people can immediately like it. There's a little bit of uphill. You have to get it printed. You have to put it up on billboards or flyers or whatever. So there's a little bit of uphill there. So it's been a slow burn in that sense. But what we found is that we go with each shout tag. We have this cool new feature where you could create social media links, and that's what we did for MMTV. So MMTV, the shout tag MMTV, we could create 100 different links pointing to the same shout tag, but each link looks different. The image is different. The text is different. Like we promoted 4 or 5 people already. Each one is different, but it goes to the same place.
And see, here's what's interesting. So we've known. When were you on the show? About a year ago?
It was September 6th last year.
It was a year ago.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It was a year ago. So that's when we met. Here's what you're an interesting guy, and here's why.
Oh, thanks.
You are the behind the scenes guy,
right?
Analytical numbers guy, right? But you also have a percentage that's a creative guy and thinking outside the box. That's not a typical combination, man. The right brain, left brain are usually, Republican, Democrat, and there's a line, right?
Right.
And so that's one of the things I think that we really connect with, right? Is I know you can handle the back end,
right.
but I can lean on you for ideas.
Right.
Like, all right, what else can we do? Okay, what about this? What about that? And that's I think where the value comes in for the customer, for you. If I'm going to give a little shout out here, what I see, what I've connected with is you actually, I can tap into your creative side.
Right.
And that's rare for a analytical based person, right? That's really rare. So that's cool. And here's what I want you to do. Tom Lanigar jumped on. Now, Tom is an attorney, and he started a company called Eternal Roots.
Okay.
So what he does is he goes out and does a full, like if you want to document your family history, or you have your grandma.
Okay.
You want, instead of just having photo albums,
right.
he will come out, set his cameras up, do a full documentary, and then put it all together for you, and then offer you that package.
Okay.
So if he was going to come to you, because he says he loves what he's hearing, right?
Okay.
If he came to you and said, Mike, how can I take my company to the next level? And I'm just giving you a basic
sure.
overview,
sure.
and Tom can add in more, but that's the gist of what he does. So he wants to capture your history,
right,
the memories, right, at another level instead of just your photo album. So what would you say?
It was Eternal Roots.
Eternal Roots.
Okay, so the first thing that I would suggest to him is go, okay, let's create the shout tag Eternal Roots.
Okay.
So basically we put in there a hero shot,
mm-hmm.
and we talk about what the services he provides. So what I tell clients is like, tell me what you do in 10 seconds or less. Because
the elevator pitch.
I need to be able to relay on your behalf to people that have no idea who you are, no idea what you do. I need to be able to do that. So if I don't understand what you do, I can't do that.
Yes.
I'm not effective for you.
Right.
So and it's funny because that ends up being a barrier for some clients.
Yeah.
Like they're like, so I help them through that process. So we put something cool together, and so the shout tag will consist of the hero shot and your bio, like your 10-second
mm-hmm.
pitch. What happens then is when it gets shared on social media, that's what people are going to see immediately. So that's why we put it at the top. Then I would say, okay, let's do a couple testimonials, let's do a couple examples. So when people land on it, they can look and see what you've done and all that kind of stuff. We do that. We add. So basically, I hate to say the word because it sounds kind of dirty, but shout tag is essentially a very organic, clean sales funnel. Mm-hmm. Right? So people land on it, they look at it, they're like, it's not overbearing, it's not like pop-ups and all that stuff. We don't allow pop-ups on shout tag. All it is one call to action, whether it's a green button or whatever. People can click on it to get more information. You got to be gentle, because if you're overly aggressive on your sales, you're gonna, people are gonna shy away from you. If your business can't stand on its own, you're gonna have to figure out your pitch, or you're gonna have to figure out what services you're offering. Right. By coming super aggressive is not gonna help anybody. So we do that, and then I go, okay, what kind of specials are you offering? And he goes, well, I could do 20% off the first. Or I could do 2 for 1. So if you want to do grandma and grandpa, we could do that. I go, okay, cool. Here's what we're going to do. I go, I would need a good image for your sale, and then we'll talk about your sale. And then what I do is I create them a social media link, like I did with yours. Mm-hmm. So it'll be shouttag.com/eternalroots, and then there's a little hash that goes at the end of it. When I paste that hash into Facebook or Twitter, they think it's a new link. Mm-hmm. So what happens is it pulls in that image and that text. And then he goes, okay, I want to promote that same sale again this week. I'm like, okay, give me another image and we'll do some different text. So now he has 2 posts in his Facebook that people that are completely different looking, but go to the same place. Mm. So what it does is it re-engages people with a different ad set, is what we call them. So every time you create a new Facebook ad, it's called an ad set. So we have an ad set, an ad set, an ad set.
Can you use them for Instagram?
Absolutely. Okay. So in Instagram, what I would suggest, and this is free info, is basically, so Instagram, you can't put links in Instagram post, right? The only way you can get a link is if you actually boost it, and they'll put a link underneath your post. So what I suggest to do is, instead of putting a link in there, say, check out my bio for more info, and then tag yourself. So if you tag yourself, what happens then is, if I'm looking through the best thing you could do is the best image you can get. Because when people are going through their phones, their Instagram, they're going through hundreds of images. So if your image has to capture, so your image has got to be engaging, right? So when they pause, they might read it, and the first bit of text under your image, what I call above the fold, that's what people are going to see. So if your text is super long, they're not going to see what's below that, because they're going to have to click the little more link to see the rest of it.
And they're not.
They're probably not.
No.
So unless you engage them off that first sentence, And then they go, oh, okay, cool. Let me see what more is all about. You click more, and it says, I'm offering a cool sale this week. Buy a link for more info. Tag yourself. And then what happens is like, okay, I just click that. I go to your bio, and then there's your link in there.
And you're so right, because I'll tell you why. I can prove this. Ask yourself out there, right? Exactly what you just said. Ask yourself, when you're on Instagram, how many times you read the bottom part. You just look at the pictures.
Right.
You unless it captures you.
Right.
Right? You just, and even then, you know.
That's why I say, like, if you look at, so some of the clients we worked with, we did Reality Rally.
Yeah.
I worked with Academy Ballet Arts. I worked with you. So if you look at some of these posts on their social media, I pepper them with like little emojis. Try to keep it interesting and entertaining, right? It can't just all be dry text.
Light,
I split
fun.
up the paragraphs, so it's not just this big wall of text. You got to make it digestible to everybody, so that way they convert.
Yeah.
They at least click on it. So what happens is they click on your bio. In your bio link is the link that you want them to go to. Okay. When they click on your link, like your website link, that's where they jump off. Now you converted. You pulled somebody from social media and you put them over here in front of something else. Oh. So for Eternal Roots, what I would do for him is I would go in there and I would post on his behalf like I do for you. Yeah. And I would post that and I'd say, whatever our pitch was, I'd say, hey, check it out. We're doing a 2-for-1. So not only can you get grandma, you can get grandpa for a limited time only. And then if it's, let's say for the sake of argument, it was at Eternal Roots, buy a link for more info at Eternal Roots. Somebody clicks on it. They go to their web, they see the web page and click on it. Boom. Now they're in the shout tag. Now they're reading more info. They get the big green button and they're calling them. They're saying, hey, Tom, what's up? I saw your 2-for-1 special. Can I get in on this? Yep. That's how you convert off social media. And a lot of times, like with Facebook, because they don't do really rich text formatting, which is basically bold and italic and all this stuff, because I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. What happens is the link, like you saw with ours that we promoted yesterday, is you post the link in there, it has the image. But the difference with the link is that when you click on it, it goes to the shout tag, which has a lot more information. It can include videos, it can include anything. But if you upload a picture on Facebook and you click on it, it just opens up a light box. So what you're doing is you're going, okay, here's a cool picture. They clicked on it, right? And then you're asking them to look over to the left or the right and look at the text to convert. That's a high ask. Yes. But if you click them over into this soft, organic, gentle sales funnel, and you're like, hey, here's more information. If you're interested, call. If not, hey, that's cool too. Then they're like, you know what, that is pretty cool. Let me check it out. Boom. See, the cool thing like that jumps out at me, right, coming into the fall and into the holiday season, right, is a guy like Eternal Roots, Tom. He starts working with you as we start to get into Halloween, now Thanksgiving. Talk about a kick-ass Christmas gift, right? Eternal Roots. Buy that for your family tree, but you can customize that to make those conversions for the holiday or whatever it is, Yeah, so you could do like and a lot of people, they're always looking for unique Christmas gifts, because gift cards are played out, like gift cards are cool, but there's really no thought put into it. But if something like this is unique and different, we could do posts on his behalf and then different pictures. And like I said, going back to what we talked about earlier with the algorithms and how many people are seeing them, you may do 3 posts, but a percentage of your followers will only see the 3rd post, right? So if you keep peppering it, and I always tell people, I go, you want to be a blip, you don't want to be over the top, like once a day maximum on Instagram, especially Facebook, but you could do twice a day. Yeah, Facebook is very sensitive to that type of stuff. So if you do once a day on Facebook, which is good, you could do twice a day on Instagram. So I find that I get the most response across all my clients between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
6 a.m. Really?
Yeah. Like some of my posts, like I posted today on SHOUTTAG.
So it's 9 o'clock.
I use the same hashtags, the same ones, and I got 1/3. I only got 1/3 of what I normally get because I posted it like 10:30 this morning.
Our time.
Yep. So it's
like what, 1:30 there?
Yeah. So but think about it. When it's 6 o'clock in the morning, people are getting up. They're whether they're getting ready or whatever, they're looking through their phone. Just kind of getting
ready.
And not
just that, the East Coast, right?
Right.
They're already.
They just got into work. They just got into work. They're looking up. They're like, oh my god. Okay, I got all this work I got to do. Let me ramp up with some Instagram.
Now, how much have you studied that? How long has it been of a window to know that?
It's been easily 8 months.
Is it?
And it's been across 10 plus clients.
And it's been steady.
Very different industries.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them have nothing to do with one another. But I found that even with the same hashtags on post, you could attribute a small percentage to picture type or whatever, but I found it is the time of day that catches.
Okay.
So if it's a time of day and a strong image, you're going to get a lot more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why you always have to know your audience too.
Right. And here's a cool thing that I see as a business person for you, which is because right now you're, you know, like any other business that's just getting going, right?
Yeah.
Starting to see momentum.
Yep.
You're wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
It's just part of the deal.
Unfortunately,
That's what we do, right? But and then also fortunately because you get to know it. So now what I like about what you're doing and your ability to scale is you have systems that you can now eventually just teach, right? To scale.
And that kind of goes back to
scale.
the getting punched and having a different plan.
Yep.
So when I went to market with SHOUTTAG, it was a high hurdle for people to get in and advertise it. But what they were going is they're like, oh, I really like what you're doing on social media, but I just don't have the time. I understand what you're telling me. I just don't have the time. I'm like, oh, I'll do it for you.
Right.
I'll do it for you. So I picked up a few free clients just to flush it out or whatever. And then I started charging. Sure. But now I had to increase my rates because now I'm basically booked. Like I'm almost at capacity as a single person. And I'm looking to bring on another social media person because it's just been crazy.
Right.
So a lot of people just don't have the time, and they're like, you go for it, you do it, and we've seen a lot of success. Like there's a client, you know, with Academy of Ballet Arts we've been working with. I text Alyssa on a pretty frequent basis, and I'm like, how did this event go? How did this event go? She said turnout was awesome. They had a bigger turnout than before, that type of thing. And that's what we're looking for are these conversions.
Yep.
And honest conversions, organic. I always tell people when they go on social media to be organic and authentic and deliberate. Those are the 3 keywords when you're going on, because there's so many people doing all this different stuff. If you're not, people can sense that. Right. If it's too much or if it's too much of a hard sell, they're going to pull back.
Or if you're throwing up on them. Right?
Yeah.
If you're doing the MLM thing, you're just throwing up on them. It just there's no relationship built. There's no trust. I know Tom threw another comment or question up there.
Let me see. My feed I think stopped.
Let's connect. I'm curious about the potential. Yeah, Tom, you definitely want to connect with Mike. I think this could be great timing for him too on what he's got going. I haven't talked to him in a while. We have an event coming up through Manny, the guy I hooked you up with, Manny Wolf. That has the event.
Yeah.
Coming up.
That's right.
So you guys got invited on the Shark Tank, huh?
Well, okay. So I'm not sure how much of it I could talk about. What I can talk about is the audition process. Okay. So my brother and I. So every January, Shark Tank goes and does auditions. And they did one in Vegas. It's the first one of the year. So we went to Vegas, gave us an excuse to hang out in Vegas, right? So we went there, but it was during CES. So they had the Consumer Electronics Show, which brings in all the big names. There was so much money. I mean, literally billions of dollars of tech there. It was insane. But so we went there. They had this huge auditorium. So we walk into it. There was several hundred people. And they had the roped lines, so we were snaking through that. And what they did is we had to be there at like 7 or 8 in the morning. It was insane. So we got there, and then they were handing out wristbands, and the wristbands are 3 different colors. So you get it in our color, and that color dictated the time you had to come back. So we went and had breakfast, came back, and then and what happens is so it was just your color now that's in the line, and you're working your way through, and they had probably 5 tables up at the front, right? And so whoever was next, they would pull you over. But they had a producer who's kind of walking back and forth, kind of gauging things. And so we got pulled to the middle table. And fortunately for us, the producer was kind of walking there. And they go, okay, give us a pitch. So you got 60 seconds to do your pitch. And so we did our pitch. And they're like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And they go, so tell us a bit more about it. And so you kind of get into this 5-minute question and answer period. And they're like, okay, cool. We have your information. We'll let you know. So we're like, okay. And so we got back home on Saturday. The following Monday, that very Monday, we got it. My brother goes, dude, we got a call back. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we did the application and we did a cool video. So the video's out there. And then from there, I can't really talk about more than that. Sure. But depending on how things go, we'll release a video at some point, right? So we can kind of show people. But I would highly encourage for any entrepreneur out there that's starting a unique business is that they go to and just experience it and get that energy of other entrepreneurs. And you never know, you might get that chance to get on Shark Tank.
It cannot hurt.
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt. Just the sheer experience and the wisdom you're going to get from
Plus,
that.
you get to go to Vegas.
Love it, right?
It's fun.
Right?
But there was a guy that was in line when we were there, and we're like, what was your invention? And he's like, oh, I created the ultimate taco shaper. I'm like, really? So he was telling us about it, and he goes, what do you do? So I told him about SHOUTTAG. I go, here, let me show you. So I created a SHOUTTAG right there on the fly, and I told him to pull up on his phone. And he's like it was like almost like showing flight for the first time.
Yeah.
He's like, what? And so it's funny now because if you Google the ultimate taco shaper, I think ours comes up #1.
Yeah.
The SHOUTTAG comes up #1 because he didn't have time to get the website or anything like that. But yeah, he was going out there to promote that. He actually got it patented, the ultimate taco shaper, because he said he was tired of like shaping tacos or something.
Did you guys stay in contact or no?
I have him on Facebook, but I haven't seen him. There hasn't been that much activity lately from his side of things. I don't know if it's fallen off or what's going on, or maybe he made it on Shark Tank. He can't talk about it because the season that we auditioned for is actually filming right now. Okay, so he might be on there. Wow, you never know. Wow, that'd be okay. But we were kind of hoping to make the veteran one because they have veterans on Veterans Day. They usually bring in vet entrepreneurs, and I was in the Marine Corps, and my brother was in the Navy. So our initial pitch was like, hi, my name is Mike Purcell. My name is Russ Purcell. We are proud veterans. Believe it or not, we are brothers, and we're the founders of SHOUTTAG. And that's how it started. So I'm hoping that we'll make the veteran show, but we'll see. Wow. So are you partners with your brother? He's a co-founder. He hasn't had as much time to dedicate to it as I have, but he's kind of been my sounding board through the whole process. So a lot of times, as you know, what you need as an entrepreneur, in my opinion, is you need somebody that you trust, that you can bounce ideas off of. Man. Because if you're left to your own devices, you'll have these ideas and you'll think they're a good idea, and then you'll end up turning off the audience or something because you thought it was good, but it didn't come across the way it should have. So my wife, Beatrice, and my brother Russ, they've been my sounding boards throughout the whole process. So I'd bounce ideas off them. It's vital, man. They would tell you yes or no. They'd be like, are you crazy? Because sometimes, like you said, with the creative side, sometimes it's too over the top or sometimes it's too far. And it doesn't end. It doesn't end. Yeah. Now, does he have the same background you do? He's a product manager. Okay. So he does development for a tech or a defense company down in San Diego. Okay. So he's a product manager. So he does like the whole cycle. So for us, what he would do is he's the one that suggested we do the trending SHOUTTAGs. He's the one that suggested a couple other features on the app. So he's an idea guy too. So he'll come, hey, can you do this? I'm like, that sounds like a really good idea. I'll code it out and we'll publish it. Man, that's awesome. Now, are you bringing on investors at this point, or? Yes. So we have to be very careful about that because of the SEC rules. So you can't do an ask or anything like that, but. What we're thinking about doing is we got something in the works where we're wanting to do like an investor pitch night at a local facility. Love that idea. And just have people come out. And what we're going to do is like have this kind of like a couple hour extravaganza, food and drink and stuff, and go into a pitch and just say, this is what we're doing. This is what we've done. We've worked with several big companies. We've gotten 3 huge events under our belt already, using the real-time text notifications and all this stuff. And this is where we're at. This is what we need to get to the next level. And I'm swimming with the big boys. I'm not opening a bookstore on the corner, which is good, but I'm not going for $100,000 a year profit. I'm going for the $1 billion sellout. There's no ceiling, right? There's no ceiling. I mean, they had the dude from Instagram, like that trips me out to this day. They had the dude from Instagram, college kid, built this app, and it was put in front of the public by Tony Hawk, right? One of the most beloved skateboarders in history. I remember watching his Bone Brigade videos back when I was a kid. I loved that guy. That guy was awesome. So he posted a picture of him skating with his kid on Instagram, and all of a sudden it blew up, right? Instagram was on everybody's tongue, right? They were talking about Instagram. So Facebook pulls him in and goes, okay, we'll give you $1 billion. The dude sat there across from people on Facebook willing to write him a check for $1 billion and said no. Could you say no to $1 billion? No. So he said no, and this was a college kid, right? He's like, no. And so a year later, Facebook pulls him in again and goes, okay, we'll give you $3 billion. So the guy goes, okay, everybody has their price, right? So he sold Instagram to Facebook for $3 billion. And then Snapchat kind of went through the same process, but Snapchat said, no. So then Facebook said, okay, we're going to eat your lunch. Right. We've already got the user base. I mean, Snapchat had their user base, but it's a whole different market. So they came in. The problem with that, and to tech entrepreneurs, actually any entrepreneurs, try to protect your IP, your intellectual property, because what happened with Facebook is that they saw what they were doing with the facial recognition of Snapchat with the filters. Yeah. So they're scanning your face and putting the ears and the eyes and all that stuff. And my wife loves that stuff, dude. Right. Like she's always doing that. So Facebook goes, okay, we're gonna do the same thing. There's no IP protection there. Stories, same thing. So they brought them over. So instead of buying them out, when they could have sold, I think they offered them $5 billion, They could have sold it and made the money and left.
They just crushed.
They went on their own, and their IPO is trading, or their stocks are trading less than their IPO. So the IPO, I think, came on at 22, and I think they're trading at 13. Wow. Because they haven't been able to show an uptick in user creation.
So Facebook suffocated.
Yeah, because with think about it, like when you do a video, am I like how many apps do I have to push that video out to? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. So if Instagram, I'm already on it, and they have stories the same functionality as Snapchat, why would I go to Snapchat?
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I'm so glad because I never connected with Snapchat.
Right.
So, and I love Instagram.
Right.
So I'm a happy guy that they didn't cut that deal.
Yeah.
Because if they disappeared tomorrow, no offense, it wouldn't hurt me. I don't even have an account. I have an account, but I don't even use it. And I know, and I'm also in a different market, in a different niche, in a different.
But you could still use Snapchat effectively, I think, if you were to market that way.
Oh, I'm sure.
But what it is a lot more work. It's just another app for you as a business owner that you have to come in. So when clients come to us and go, hey, we want you to help with our social media, I'm like, let's just focus on the big three.
Right.
Later on down the road, once we get this ball rolling and you see how easy the process is, then we can talk about bringing Snapchat online.
Love that. And we're going to be working together. We are working together with Monster Motivator TV.
Yep.
And we got some other things cooking. Yep. So I'm pumped, man. I'm excited. Anything else that you want to share before we jump off that we didn't talk about?
No, I mean, sorry if we got technical or whatever there. I'm just trying to... if you guys need any kind of help or whatever, I'll tag myself in the thing. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll help you out. We offer 2-week free trials. I want to show you what we do first for your company. If you like it, awesome. We don't do any contracts. It's month to month. The fees are super cheap compared to other companies. I just never understood contracts, getting locked in these long contracts. So we're a very honest, authentic organization, and we're looking for the big play. Yeah. So, anything, if you guys are looking for a web presence, you don't want to spend a bunch of money, let us help you.
Yeah, I love that, man. You can't ask for anything more as a consumer, right? And you're in that position now where you're educating people.
That's the rub.
Yeah,
you have to educate. And
that's it.
And it's a grind. As an entrepreneur, a lot of times you'll find out that companies, like I found that, was it Living Social or what was the other one? Living Social, and there's one that's really close to it. I can't remember the name of it, but both of them. But one of them has been around a lot longer. It's a grind, and then once somebody picks up on it, then that's when it starts hitting the market. People start. So you have to go through that grind. You have to go through that uphill battle before you get to that point.
It's that gestation period.
Yeah,
right? You keep watering the soil, and that thing just trying to break through, and then so many people stop watering.
Yeah.
Right, and then all of a sudden they just disappear.
Right.
But it's it's got to be part of your DNA, man. It's a grind.
It's a grind.
It
really is, because and a lot of times I find myself asking, like, is this legit? Like, why? Like, and you're your own worst critic. And I think what you teach people is to kind of get out of your own way. Yeah. Like, if you have a good idea and you believe in it wholeheartedly, don't let that fear barrier kind of sit in there. Pull that, remove it, get out of your own way, and just go for it. Because at the end of the day, what I tell people, and I'm going to get real with you real quick, is when you're laying on your deathbed and you're looking up and you don't have any motor controls, your choices are not yours. You can't get out of bed. You can't do anything. You're laying there and you're thinking about things. Will you regret not taking that chance?
And you will.
I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, God, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that.
It's so true, and it's so fast. If you live a full life, the ride is so fast. It's unbelievable. And at the end of the day, when you're able to put things into perspective, that's the key. Being able to put things into perspective. If I do this, like with my restaurant, right? It was open for 3 months,
right?
And people are like, well, wait a minute, how did you bounce back from that so quickly? 2 things is I've been an entrepreneur almost my whole adult life, number 1. Number 2 is I ask myself this question, and I'm the only one that can answer this.
That's right.
If I didn't do this, if I didn't do Bully Burgers, and I died today, would I regret it? And my answer was yes. I'm good. I won.
Right.
Now I can move on.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it. You have a clean conscience.
That's it, man.
No regrets.
I did it, right? I gave it everything I had. It didn't work out to what I expected it to and what my plan was. But that doesn't mean it was a failure.
No.
Right? It really doesn't. It's all perspective. And and that's everything in life. And again, that's probably why we connect as well. But I love the energy, the passion when you talk about your company, when you talk about this idea, when you talk about what you put together, what you created.
Right.
And so if there are people going, well, man, it was really technical. Don't even get caught up in that because you're going to break it down for him. What I tell you to do is feel his energy. That's who you want to. That's who you want to align yourself with, right? People that are authentic, real, and truly believe in what they're doing and have an absolute, undying energy for it.
That's right.
Love it, man. I love it, man. I'm glad that we. I can't believe it's been a year, dude.
There you go.
There you go.
Crazy. I wish I would have been around with the Bully Burgers because I would have definitely helped you out on that.
Yeah.
With the marketing and the promotions and stuff.
But honestly, there's a reason, right?
You're exactly
right.
Right. There's a reason.
There's a reason. And if you think about this, if someone questions how quick it goes, how many people out there still have not done anything with their 2017 New Year's resolution? Because guess what? We got 4 months, and now you're going to be a 2018 resolution.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
I mean, we're in the fourth quarter, man.
It's funny because one of the things with SHOUTTAG is it's so quick to market.
Yeah.
That people aren't expecting that. They're like, wait a minute. So they always use the website. Oh, I got to get a website. They use that as their excuse not to execute. So when I go in there and go, okay, cool, you're done. You're on there. You're SHOUTTAG live. They're like, like I literally had a dude. Like he's like, I had these ideas, I put it together for him, I sent it to him. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He was using the website as an excuse to hold himself back.
He was frozen.
So I'm like, so that's one of the things that we do is like you said, it's like removing the fear barrier and not having any regrets. If you're using a website as an excuse to hold yourself back, let us help you. I will remove that, let you move forward, and let you figure out what you got to figure out.
I love that, man. Anytime that you can become an excuse crusher, that's the greatest. I love that, man. So as you know, we take this show out the same way, right? Every time, because I believe that your state of mind dictates your results, man, and dictates who you attract in your life. And you have the ability, like you said, until you get to that point where you either drop, right, and you become dust, or you have no motor skills and you have no choice.
Right.
Up until that point, you have a choice.
That's right.
And you have a choice to either have your head down, your shoulders down, and look down at the ground, or you have a choice to bring your shoulders back, chest up, look straight ahead, and know who you are. And that's what the Monster Motivator Roar is all about.
Right.
It's you can either live your life purring like a kitten or roaring like a lion. And usually I ask people, what do you want to do? But I already know that answer. So
I'm gonna roar like a T-Rex. Is that cool?
There you go. Real quick, how'd that come about, man? So you have, people saw your picture with the T-Rex.
It's cool, right?
But share, where did that
I've always had an
from?
affinity for dinosaurs. It's
Okay.
like when people
As a
ask,
little kid?
who would you meet if you could? For me, it's not about who, it's about when. I would go back 65 million years to the height of the Cretaceous period and just for a couple of days, if I could live that long, and just see what it would be like. Like the air would probably be like sulfuric, the atmosphere would be dense, the vegetation would be lush.
Yeah.
It would be like, and you hear like the tremors and stuff.
I don't know, you might be too young. Do you remember a show called Land of the Lost?
Yeah, totally.
Dude,
they had a remake with Will Ferrell too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was
Land
Land of the Lost.
The sleeve stacks and everything.
It's that, I mean, that's what I pictured.
But that's why, like, Jurassic Park was like such an awesome movie for me. It got weird after the first couple, but like just dinosaurs. You think about it. I mean, there was an ecosystem that was so well refined that it would live for millions of years until the theory is that the comet hit the Earth. And that's how they died out. But I'm like, it's such an amazing thing, dude. Like, we share a planet with something that was so.
You know what? It's interesting, man. When I was a little kid, my parents took me to Disney World down in Florida, right? And when I went to Disney World, I was bored out of my mind. But you know what? The next day where they took me and I made them, I'm like 13, I made them take me there the following day, and we spent the whole day, is the alligator ranch. And you walk on these bridges and you feed the alligator bread.
Right.
Like, that's probably the closest thing that we know to whales, hippos, and probably like alligators are what we can think about, closest thing to dinosaurs for us.
Right.
And I literally was just watching them all day long. So I get it, man.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. But we're going to take this out Monster Motivator style. Do we have anybody Anything we want to address?
Tom just he said that you got to lock down IP.
Yeah.
So
he's an attorney. That's his world. That's what he does. So and I'm sure you guys are locked down.
We're good to go.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Anyway, guys, reach out, connect with Mike. He's got he loves what he does. So reach out to him. Great guy, and he'll give you as much information as he can. And it's a no-brainer. He's an excuse crusher, man. Love it, brother. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, man.
So we're going to take this out Monster Motivator style on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job, man.